Hello. Welcome back to your channel. This is your host Maverick here, and today, sadly, we are going to be watching the finale of Wave Listen to Me. So, our journey is coming to an end for this season, and, well, like I said, I'm very sad that it's ending. This has definitely been my pet favorite of this season. I just think it's fantastic watching the journeys and the struggles of Minare, not only through trying to become a qualified radio personality, but also through her struggles in life and how she's facing them. Even though she's definitely quite the flawed person in a lot of ways. Last episode really summarized it very well, right? Not only was it a fantastic episode, fantastically voice acted by the seiyus as well, it really was the confessions of Minare, and also a declaration by her of how to move forward, right? So it's inspiring, it's funny at the same time, and it's just great. It's just great. So, in this episode though, presumably we're gonna have Minare make one final radio program episode, this time entirely thought up by herself and whatnot. And I do hope that we do get a little bit more clues, or at least some kind of closure, considering the anime is going to be ending about, you know, the truth of what happened to the entertainer, right? The other radio personality that Mato was in love in, and presumably has some connections to Minare's father as well. And then of course we got all of this other supporting cast of characters. Maybe they will have some kind of resolution or closure to them as well, even though obviously the manga still goes on, so we can't really have any kind of conclusion yet. But still, I hope they at least give them a good send-off into whatever is going to happen in the future. So, with that in mind, let's get right to it. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Man. Their future dreams. Oh yeah, last episode they did talk about listening. Ah, flashback. High school Mizuho. She is cute. I want to become. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. They're here. Hmm? What? Holy shit! Wow! Wow. But I thought they were a duo though. So, is the back and forth actually just her herself? What? Wow. See, all the characters that are introduced are related somehow to the main story, right? I mean, we know that much. It's definitely something that this series is really trying to drive home. By the way, today's beer of choice is actually Budweiser. But Budweiser Supreme. A little bit different from your normal run-of-the-mill Budweiser. Ah. And I gotta say, the opening and ending for this anime are also some of my favorites from this season as well. Might even be number one, actually. The really classic J-rock kind of sound. There's Twitter? So this is gonna be... Having 100 submissions? Yeah, it is pretty good. Ah. This is definitely the kind of, the anime radio format that I'm really familiar with. Read it out loud. Comment on it. Yeah, like I said, a classic segment. What? So that those practical effects, you know, awaken something inside him? Yeah, it's 3 a.m., dude. Arc. What happened with her in 2? Oh, she's drinking. Was she kind of rejected by the producers? Oh, celebrating. Okay. Okay, okay. It was a good outcome. So she's gonna keep her secret a little bit longer. I wonder how she actually did it, though. Like, you actually need a professional recording environment to do something like that. it's not easy to record clear sounds and all that. Okay, what's he quoting? Damn. She's gonna fall further for him. Ah! Ah! Ah. Yeah. Ah, man. You smooth talker, you. Oh, you're not actually staying to... Yeah. Really? Alright. Part of the reason why the writer is in the booth is so that they can actually sort of carry on a conversation and also have some reaction to like the funny stuff that Minare is saying. Alright, final episode. How's it? Radio real. That's kind of impractical. That's way too impractical. Earthquake? What the hell? What? Yeah, it was an earthquake. Now of all times? Holy crap! What? Keep talking, keep talking. Huh. So, they're all... Start reading? Ah, okay, so it's... They're in charge of, so that people can stay calm and whatnot. This is SOP, standard operating procedures that they have. Ooh. Well, I mean, yeah, that's to be expected. They have backup power here? Why is this so interesting? Wait, but actually she's not supposed to have any silence in the between. Prepare food? Yeah. This is a time to be. Yeah, he needs to put on the professionalism here because right now people want to be reassured. The power of radio in this condition. Oh, it was actually him beside him? Okay. This writer's gonna help out as well. Ah, the professionals rushing to the scene. What does she feel? Damn, look at her. Make sure.
いいんですよ。これも電波を止めるなの一環です。助かる。東野の後は北見に向かいます。いや、北見はさすがにそこからは。続いてはラジオネームコンビニさん。地震が起きた後、私がバイトしてるコンビニは予想以上の大混雑でレジも大行列で。あなたの口癖を守っただけよ。災害時は何はなくとも駆けつけろでしょ。早速だが、ミナレと交代してもらっていいか。もちろん。そのために来たのよ。こっちも泣きそうになるわ。さあ、放送時間を延長してお届けした小田ミナレの波を聞いてくれは、そろそろお別れの時間となってしまいました。みんな大変な時なのにいっぱい。
Yeah, she's been doing this for an hour and a half.
畑の様子をじゃないけど、私も身の回りの人の安否とか確認するわ。またね。お疲れ。はい、お疲れ。災害時だというのに、あなたのトークで笑ってしまったわ。どうも。
Now for the professional.
千代まどかの September Blue Moon。いつもより時間を早めて、そしていつもとは少し内容を変更してお送りします。まずは地震の情報です。午前3時32分頃、北海道地方で最大震度6強の強い地震がありました。現在北海道の全域で停電が発生しています。マジで疲れたわ。こんな時に不謹慎かもしれませんが、札幌が真っ暗になった時の私の感想は、星が綺麗でした。そして今も星を見上げている人たちがたくさんいると思います。そのうち何人かはこの歌を口ずさんだんじゃないかな。では聞いてください。
Ooh. How old is this? Man. I actually got kind of chills there. I always enjoy it watching, documentaries and stuff that shows, people doing their job, and especially in these kind of emergency situations where everybody is just working together, the professionalism that they display and whatnot, in spite of the circumstances. It's always something that I gotta get a lot of joy in. Right? It doesn't really matter the occupation or whatnot. Seeing people react to unexpected situations, great. Nameless star like us. Good so. I wonder if this is a song from a Hokkaidian artist. An artist from Hokkaido.
災害時こそいつものパーソナリティのいつもの声だな。マトウさん、お疲れ様でした。おう。休憩しないんですか？千尋が喋ってる間はな。クレコさんが小説家になったとしても、私がディレクターとしてデビューするときは台本をお願いできますか？なんだよこんな時に。すみません。ま、乗れる企画だったらな。必ず乗せてみせます。
Minare.
もう帰っていいぜ。今日も仕事だろ。仕事？ああ、ボイジャーか。つか営業すんのかね今日。どうなんだろう。店長に聞かないとは。でも正直今はラジオにいたいって。ほう。しかしいいのか？ど深夜の週1レギュラー20分番組。本当にそこがお前のついの住みかで。啓発セミナーの。どうせ停電で店も休みだろうし、外の空気吸ったら戻ってくるよ。一度牢屋みたいな仮眠室で寝て
Yeah, she's also thinking, this is where I belong. the oh. Oh man, this is such a great ending as well. Oh my god, just great. Man, they really outdid themselves once again. This episode was fantastic. I really couldn't have asked for a better ending to an anime such as this, considering that the manga still carries on and there's still a lot of unresolved stuff here, right? With that being said, from what I can read from some of the discussions online and whatnot, it seems that this is actually a anime original. It's an anime original. The manga presumably does not go through this route, doesn't have this sort of situation. I'm not really sure. I'm just parroting what I've read online as well. I haven't read the manga yet, but you can definitely bet that I will be reading it soon. But with that being said, even if it was an anime original, then full kudos to them, right? They really ended this series perfectly with this kind of situation, all culminating into the resolution at the end, from Minare, and how you're literally seeing her transform into someone who's really going to be passionate about radio and really views radio as her calling, if you will, by the end here, right? It really perfectly sets it up to go forward into the future, and yet at the same time, you still kind of feel like, hey, this is just by itself, it can also work as an independent ending, right? And really, that's one of the things I love the most about this particular episode, right? It has to be that scene between Minare and Mato there, right? If you guys recall, when Mato came in, Minare was like, "Hey, is it really okay for me to continue to be here and be the radio host, the radio personality? Shouldn't you guys get like a professional to come in, someone more experienced, so that they know how to handle this kind of emergency situation?" And Mato just came in and was like, "Hey, stop thinking of yourself as an amateur. You're a professional now, right?" That's basically what he said, right? You either you're in this situation now. Are you going to take it, or are you just going to shy away, right? And then you can literally see Minare's transformation before your eyes. She's like, "Hell yeah, let's own it," right? So I don't know why, but I just love that scene so much. It's not anything new or particular, right? Even in shonen, you get lots of these sort of situations where you need to dig deep and find resolve and whatnot, and then push through whatever obstacle or situation that's being thrown in front of you. But there's just something so authentic about this sort of situation that really strikes home how it is, right? It's realistic in a way. You don't get like a power up or something. It's not like you're screaming loudly and then suddenly your spirit power, your magic power, or whatever the case, if it's an action shonen or whatnot, and you can suddenly overpower your enemy, right? It's not something like that. It's just it's just very, very realistic. Such as in real life, when you get determined to do something, you get a morale boost, you get more energetic, you get more spring to your step, that kind of stuff, and yet it works so perfectly here, particularly with someone like Minare, who's really just kind of drifting, right? Kind of drifting through not only in life but in this job as a radio host as well, and then really, settling down and putting her foot down and saying, yes, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to own it right here, right now, right? Absolutely fantastic here. And I also love how this situation, right, of being an earthquake really brings out radio's strong points as well, right? There is a reason why if you ask like doomdays preppers in general, or survivalists, or something like that, they will always recommend you to carry like a portable radio, right? A small one or whatnot, but they still recommend it, right? Because it's one of the best ways to get news in these sort of emergency situations. Now, personally, even though I live in an area with a lot of earthquakes, I've been through a lot of big ones myself. I've never really had the chance to fully appreciate what radio can do. But in this kind of situation where literally all the power is out and so on and so forth, and who knows, maybe you can't really maybe sure, we got smartphones now. We can check the web and whatnot, but there is still something to be said for the official information, for this sort of soothing, reassuring kind of voice on the radio in these kinds of situations, right? And really, not only that, not only is it bringing out radio, but I feel like it's really bringing out an important aspect of this anime as well, right? More than any kind of country scenario, I really felt that this scene this situation was genuinely touching, right? Even you can see people doing whatever they can to help. You got Tachibana and Nakahara and the others setting up a soup kitchen and whatnot, whereas the professionals are manning their positions, right? They're staying calm, they're staying collected, they're just doing their jobs. Everybody's pitching in to help and whatnot. It's great. I like I said within the episode, I like to watch a lot of documentaries or sort of like the behind the scenes stuff, right? And indeed, those that have to deal with emergency situations and whatnot, it's always something that I could say something cheesy like restore faith in humanity. I don't think it's necessarily as strong as that, but I just love seeing how in these sort of situations everybody can act in a cohesive manner, in a way that's mutually beneficial to all, and really driving humanity forward, right? I feel like I'm making it to be a little bit too grand now, but that's generally how I feel. Like we can stay safe knowing that humans are going to push through these kind of situations just through sheer human willpower, right? And I love it. It's definitely something that I do like to see a lot, and I'm glad that this anime had a chance to showcase that, taking full advantage of the scenario that made up this episode, right? And then coming up to the very end there, like I said, with Minare really fully settling down. Well, maybe not fully settling down, but at least dropping an anchor, right? At least dropping one anchor down into the waves, if you will, and really saying, okay, so I am acknowledging radio, and I now have a realistic determination. It feels real to her now, and it feels real to us viewers as well, that this is definitely something she's going to strive for. It's not just a case of let's try it out and see what happens and whatnot. She's committing to it, if you will, right? And so I love it. It's definitely a great sort of ending to this series. Now, speaking of the series, so I've been praising it a lot, if you guys have been following this so far, but yeah, I'm gonna say something controversial here. Wave Listen to Me is my anime of the season right now, right? I know some of you guys might be shocked and whatnot. We got Kaguya-sama as well, and definitely it's a series that I enjoy a lot as well, and it makes me laugh every single episode. But there is something to be said about this anime that I just feel like it's special in a lot of ways. So anime of the season for me. And if there were an award such as Seiyu of the Season, right? There's only Seiyu of the Year awards, but if there was a award for Seiyu of the Season, it's got to be Minare's voice actress, Sugiyama Riho. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna say something so outlandish as saying it's the anime of the year, or she's the Seiyu of the year, or something like that. I feel like it's still way too early in this year. We're literally only halfway through to make any kind of claim towards that. But of the season, I can definitely believe that. At least out of the anime I've watched, anyways. And it's. I think I mentioned this already in the last few episodes. It's really hard for me actually to articulate why I like this anime so much. The subject matter, the characters, Minare's character is definitely also a big driver of this series. I think if you ask me, the one compelling thing, the one very compelling thing about this series and the characters and how it builds its story is it's. I don't want to keep on saying realistic, but that's the best descriptive word I can say about this situation, right? It's really going through a lot of everyday stuff, and not quite slice of life. It's not like that, right? But it's everyday mundane stuff that anybody could be going through, and yet you still see them make steps, make this sort of push forward to become better and better, right? The best way I can describe it is you literally see these characters. Sure, they're not going to be in life and death situations. It's not going to be overtly dramatized or whatnot. It's really just small stumbles, right? Small stumbles throughout their daily lives, and they're not making like huge strides to fix those as well, right? It's not overly dramatic, like I said. It's not like an action shonen where you can literally go through the power of love and friendship, power up, and then defeat the bad guy and whatnot. How they react to each of these small stumbles in their life is to take small steps, right? Small steps going forward and forward. I mean, sure, yeah, you can say that some of these situations are definitely a little bit over the top, right? Such as the sort of the curse of the foul meat, right? Of the rotting meat and whatnot. Or say for instance, Tachibana's situation is definitely kind of out there a little bit as well. But still, for the most part, you can still feel that it's grounded in reality, and people are facing these real problems, and then they're taking real action to sort of to sort of solve them, right? And that is, there's just something to be said about a series that's really trying to drive home this sort of everyday life, and everybody's just trying their best to live on, right? Not in a life and death situation, but just to carry on and live on through their daily lives. Minare, I've praised her numerous times already, right? I would definitely be the first to say that she definitely is a very flawed girl. She definitely has big problems to her. As a person, as a friend, or even as a potential lover or whatnot, she definitely has lots of problems on her own. And yet, I feel like we already saw in last episode, right? She's unapologetic for what she is. That's just her character, right? She that's just how she acts, and like she says, she's not going to regret anything that she does. She just wants to continue to drive forward and eventually prove to everyone that yes, even though I am like this right now, even though I cause people a lot of inconveniences and troubles and whatnot, please still believe in me. I can redeem myself in a way. I can show you what I'm truly capable of, right? This air of positivity. The best, I feel like there's a saying in Japanese to describe her character, and that is baka positive, right? Or I guess the best translation to that would be stupidly optimistic, if you will. And that literally is Minare's character in a way, but you can't just help but try to root for her while she's in these situations, right? She's never doing anything that's major to the point where it's truly going to really hurt someone, right? Even I feel like her sort of giving Nakahara the sort of cold shoulder and whatnot, or maybe perhaps kind of leading him on and whatnot. I feel like that's still, it might be a little bit mean-spirited, but I honestly don't think that's actually going to truly have any permanent damage on him, right? So it's just, I enjoy seeing a character like this that's actually flawed, not flawed in a sort of very contrived way, but just, I can totally believe that there is a character like Minare living in our everyday lives as well, right? I literally know some people who are like that as well, and it's just I don't know. It's just the way that they sort of make her character though, even though it's realistic in a way, but it also can't make you help. It makes you can't help but want to root for her. And then not only her, all the other characters, they all have their little quirks as well. They're certainly underdeveloped, I feel, as of right now, since we probably don't have enough time and whatnot. But you can already feel, even just through these 12 episodes, that all these characters are somehow playing an important role in this web of relationships, right? It's all connected together in some sort of way, and that's why I keep on making the presumption that the comedian that Mato was in a relationship with is probably also connected to Minare through some sort of strange, mysterious way, right? Carrying on the will of her, if you will. And so that's definitely one of the reasons why I want to continue reading on manga as well. I want to get to the bottom of this. I do feel like the author did a very good job of sort of setting all this up. Seemingly unrelated personnel, seemingly unrelated people can all sort of come together in the end, and it's just it's just small things, right? It's just small ripples. it's like throwing in a rock into a pond. You get the initial very big ripple through the main characters, but for all the minor characters, you can also see that there's minor ripples there, secondary ripples, if you will, around them as well. I love it. I love it. The anime as a whole, though, I mean, I will definitely say that it has its flaws as well. Like, just like Minare, there are parts of it that is a little bit lacking, right? I wouldn't really say that it's keeping the tension throughout the entire season. There were some times in the start of the second half, I would say, where I feel like things were going a little bit slow. Sometimes the way that they set up the characters, you're sometimes thinking, okay, why are you telling me this right now? I really don't care. Show me something more interesting, something like that. It does have its moments like this, right? But for the most part, I would say it still keeps a good pacing throughout and really driving the story forward. And every so often it sprinkles these god tier radio segments from Minare, and that is really enough. I feel like it might even be a case where, because those highs were too highs, the sort of more calm episodes, if you will, you just feel like it's sort of the contrast is too big, right? So it's a big drop off, and so you feel kind of unhappy about it, if you will. But that might be a more of a testament to how good the good episodes are. But in any case, yeah, I think I've already said all I want to say about this so far. It's definitely a sleeper hit. I really wish it was much more popular, but then I guess it is sort of more of a niche subject. Oh, I didn't even. Well, I mean, I've mentioned throughout the episodes already. I do enjoy them explaining a little bit more, getting more detailed into how the radio business actually works. And so on and so forth, right? Perhaps one of the reasons why I like this series so much is also due to some bias where I am kind of interested in radio to a certain extent, right? Maybe that's the case, although, I don't know. But I definitely find the situations very innovative, very unique, very funny, and very entertaining. Speaking of radio, one of the reasons why I got into radio, well, actually, the only reason I got into radio, specifically anime radios, the sort of radios that are hosted by seiyus, is actually through my personal favorite, one of my favorite seiyus, Onishisari. I think I mentioned her name before already. And the funny thing here is that Onishi-san is literally sort of like a real life Minare. In a lot of ways. So if you guys do enjoy her character, I do recommend you guys to also check out Onishisari's radios as well. There's obviously still a little bit of difference. It's definitely not as well, first of all, Onishi is more of she only does duo radios, right? She doesn't have like Minare talking to herself and whatnot. But I think the sort of the similarities are where it's just how you're thinking to yourself, how can you get yourself into these sort of situations in your everyday life to make your life so entertaining in a way, right? And then to always have something funny and interesting to say on radio, whether it's from some sort of funny anecdote from her life, or just saying the right words in the right situations, giving the right sort of snarky remarks or retort or snarky comments, and so on and so forth. Just that's kind of on a tangent, right? But I mean, if you guys do want to see someone else or actually get into radio that's sort of like a similar concept or kind of similar to how Minare acts, I do recommend you guys to check out. Anyways, okay, this is a little bit too long now, but yeah, I feel like I've gushed over this anime enough. If you guys have been watching all the way up to now, you'll definitely probably also in the same boat as I am and really feel like this anime is underrated. So hopefully we can all sort of band together, drive up the hype, drive up discussion for this anime, and really recommend it to more and more people around us. Anyways, if there was any of you guys who actually found this channel through this anime, feel free to check out my other works as well. I typically do focus a lot more on the review section, the discussion parts, as I am doing right now. And if you do like this kind of format, and you find some other animes that you like that are on my channel, give those a check, right? I will definitely be glad to have you guys again. And if not, well, then I hope I will see you guys again sometime soon, later on in the seasons. We literally have anime every single season, right? We're bound to meet again someday. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. And stay safe, guys. And well, hopefully I will see you guys next time in the not too distant future. Stay tuned and bye bye.